Montressor from Edmonton Impact. I've been playing on the team since the beginning of 2010, or 2011 actually, so this is my third year on the team. I started playing paintball in the winter of 1999, so it's been a long time. I started playing tournaments around 2000, started playing the PSPs in PPL when they were together. 2001, then I played 10-man, back when 10-man was big, in 2002 with Tipman Effect. Went pro in 2003 when I was only 18. Played with Detroit Thunder, unfortunately only lasted 1 year, then Detroit Strange took over the franchise. Went to the Philadelphia Americans, played there from 2004 all the way till 2009, and I probably would have stayed there if it weren't for the problems with smart parts and the Philadelphia Americans, being the factory team. And then I went and played 1 year with Chicago Aftershock, which, I like that. I met a lot of good friends, but it just, after Philadelphia Americans fell apart, I was kind of looking for a new home. And I wanted to find a team that I was going to play on until I was done playing paintball. And as much as I liked Aftershock, it just wasn't the right fit. And Ryan Moorhead had joined the Edmonton Impact team the year before. And him and Bart Yakimek asked me to come play at the end of 2010, so I started playing with them in 2011, and I've been here ever since. Currently, I just play with Edmonton Impact. We all do our little parts, like book flights or something. Like I book flights for the American guys and stuff. But really, Bart runs the whole show. So Bart Yakimek coaches the team. He manages the team. Dave Baines has come on this year, though. He's done a lot in regards to the management issues. So he's helped out a lot with that, which has been great because it lets all of us just play. So trying to balance the management and trying to balance being a player is really difficult. So we've done a good job in the organization of letting everybody really just play, and you have the people that run the team. So it's been a really, really big help this year. Yeah, we've gotten a lot of hype this year about being one of the better teams in the league, and that's difficult though. It's really tough because you have all these expectations built for you. So we're right now expected to win a tournament on a regular basis, and it's really hard to win a tournament. Some guys will go their whole paintball careers and never win a tournament. So we've done a good job of assembling a lot of good players. So we went to World Cup last year, and it was a mess. It was really bad. We didn't win a game, and we kind of reached this point where what are we going to do? Are we going to continue to be the team that is always scratching through, or are we going to really just make a run for it? I got a lot of friends with Houston Heat, and they said they're going to take all the chips and push them all in and make a run, and they had a great year, and we wanted to do the same. So we went out and we picked up Greg Stewart, we picked up Justin Rabakoff, we picked up Dave Baines, who have been amazing players for a decade almost. Like someone like Dave's been a great player for 10 years. And people think Justin's arguably one of the best players in the world, and the same thing with Greg. So picking those guys up was a big move for us. But it's difficult having all these expectations, so now we put all this pressure on ourselves to win tournaments. But it's good though, because it just pushes us. And you have a certain type of people that we're looking for. Like, can you survive under that pressure? Are you gonna, is it like going to play for the New York Yankees and it's a lot of stress, or are you gonna be able to survive under that and push yourself? And I think we have a good mix of guys, where we have 10 guys and a great coach that are like, we're all in. So we practice every week. Like we go home from here, we go home for a couple days, and then we go to Chicago and practice. I'll go home for 3 days. Then we're gonna go to Sacramento and practice for 3 days. Then we're going to fly to Chicago early in practice, and then we go to the event. That's a lot of commitment, not just outside of work, but it consumes your whole life. So we've done a good job of, hopefully living up to our own expectations, and in the end it'll pay off and we'll win a couple tournaments. Honestly, at this level, with the amount of effort we're putting into our team and the amount of work to not win a tournament, you're always going to be disappointed. And it's cliche to say that if you're not winning a tournament, then everything else is just, second place, third place, fifth place, the same as last. And it really almost feels that way. We're third place overall, which, to be honest with you, kind of sucks. By now, we'd hope we'd win a tournament, but, realistically, we're getting better. I feel like we're getting better on and off the field. So that's a positive. But if you don't win a tournament, you're always going to be disappointed. I'm not going to say I have regrets about how we played a tournament. I think we played that field well. And we were 1 point away in overtime with damage to go into the finals. But not winning a tournament, I'm always disappointed because, at this level, you always should hope you're going to win the tournament. The PSP introduced the new Champions Challengers division this year, and in a way it's good. It still has its flaws though. I congratulate them for trying. The reality is that the pro division was getting boring, right? You sign up, you play pro, and if you took last, it sucks and you just keep coming back. And they were trying to find a way to make the competition, especially the webcast, getting bigger, They're trying to make a way where the competition, continues to climb and the competitive level gets higher, and so that every game you play for has value. And I understand that, and I think it's from a viewer standpoint, it makes all the games huge. You can't lose a game. Every game matters, because if you lose a game, you might have to go down to the challengers. But I played paintball for long enough to say that I'm not a big fan of the fact that to believe that you're going to have perfect tournaments forever isn't realistic. We could have a good tournament. I mean, we could also follow that up with a bad tournament. In 2010, Infamous won Chicago and took last place in Northeast Open. So that would have meant that they wouldn't have been able to play the World Cup. So a team that won a professional tournament, was ranked second or third on the year, isn't allowed to play World Cup. I mean, I don't agree with that. I think that the structure needs to get worked on. I really believe the way the Millennium Series does it, where at the end of the season, if you're bottom two, if you can't finish in the top 14 teams at the end of a season, then yeah, it's probably fair that you get bumped down and the next two teams get bumped up. So I'm a bigger fan of the Millennium Series, in my opinion. I think they do a great job with their relegation system, better than the Champions Challengers. But I don't think they can intermix them, because I still think that there's too big of a gap. I think 20 teams in the Challengers division is too many. So I think allowing the Challengers teams to play with the Champions teams at World Cup is wrong, because then you have the brackets. So you're going to have, let's say, 4 brackets of 5 or 5 brackets of 4, and it's just too many teams, where the talent gap between Dynasty, Damage, and I guess us and whoever, fourth heat, they're significantly better than the bottom half of the Challengers. So the gap is too much. I just and I know it's no discredit to some of the teams, but there's some teams that were Division I teams that hadn't won tournaments before that are playing the Challengers. And to say that they're on par at that level, it's not right. It's not fair to them. It's not fair to the viewers. It's not fair to the champions. Yeah, I went back to after Smart Parts had their financial issues. I went back to school, and I went back for my second degree, for my master's degree. Okay. So I went back to get my master's degree in business management. So I already had a college degree in business management, but I went back to get my second one. I wanted to just play paintball, and I went to school, and personally, I enjoy school, and I actually encourage a lot of other people to do both. I mean, it's important to go to school and play paintball. You can do both, it's hard. But the last thing you want to do is just commit your life to being a professional paintball player and be 35 and have no education. My opinion. I played with the Tauntauns in 2006 and 2007, so that was my first time. I'd come to the Millennium in 2004 and played a tournament, but that was my first time in coming over and playing with a team and playing a full series. And I enjoyed it a lot. We actually won the series in 2006, so winning the series title over here was amazing. But out of it, I met a lot of great friends. I mean, I still talk to Tavares, once a week. Through Skype, we talk about paintball and life. He's got a kid and wife, and he's a close friend of mine. And same thing with Will Week. We were working on a project together that, unfortunately I haven't been able to commit my time to anymore because of work now, but, he's doing the K project, and we were working on that together for quite a while. So I met a lot of great friends, Frank, and I got to travel the world. So, and playing with teams and guessing with teams is awesome, because you get to get different insights. You get to look at things differently. We're used to looking at things this way, like this is how you play the game, and this is what you do. And then this is how they do it. And you get a little bit of this and a little bit of their knowledge, and you give it to them. And, guessing with teams is awesome sometimes if you do it right. If you go in with an open mind, and you don't try to just make everybody conform to your ideas. Sometimes I see American players come over and they guess with teams, and they say, this is how we do it, this is how you have to do it. But it doesn't always work like that. They do things very well. The Tauntauns are a great team. So I just wanted to come over and say, hey, this is what we do, this is what you do, let's try to make something work. So I learned a lot about interacting like that, so I enjoyed the Tauntaun experience a lot. No, since I've been playing competitive paintball, so for about 13, 14 years or so now, there's been two really good European teams, and that's Joy Division and the Russian Division. And those are the only two teams that I ever felt could come over to the US and compete at the professional level. Now there's 3. I think that the Tauntauns are that third team. Obviously back, a long time ago, you had other teams, but in the modern era, right, you only have had 3 teams. And the Tauntauns are the first team in a long time to come over from Europe, and prove to be a really good team. And I honestly was skeptical at first. I was like, I wonder how they're gonna do. And I know Tavares, so I know he was worried too. But the way the format is now, a race to 7, you don't need 15 guys like you used to. They can come over with their 6 or 7 guys that they play with every weekend and play a race to 7 format, which suits them well. And they got great gun skills and great techniques. So I think as long as as long as they keep that core group of players together, that they'll be a competitive team for a long time. Now the hard part is what's going to happen when they maybe start getting picked apart again, where you get, someone that comes in and says, I'll give you X amount of thousands of dollars, I give you this and this, and that's going to happen to them as they get better. I know a couple players that, Axel already played with the Russians, but it's only time before, they're going to have difficulties, I think, maybe keeping their team together. But as long as they can keep their team together, yeah, they'll do, the Towntowns will do well. Asking me where paintball is going to be in 10 years is a tough question because, you never really know where it's going to be. It just depends on so many factors because unfortunately paintball is a luxury game. It's like hunting and jet skiing and motocross. It just depends on economics. And unfortunately in the United States, if maybe we hadn't had an economic recession, maybe paintball would be, on another level. But unfortunately we did, and we fall by the wayside, and we're constantly going to go like this, and even Europe. Europe's had problems too, so paintball hasn't been able to grow. So that's an issue. And then you also have problems where, it's, again, everyone says it, but there's a lot of politics. I don't really know. Sometimes people, there's a lot of people in paintball, but there's really only a small handful that control paintball at the tournament level. And it depends where those individuals take us. We've tried putting it on ESPN, we've tried getting it in X Games, we've tried doing a lot of different things that, for whatever reason haven't worked out. Yeah, no, I hope to see paintball as a professional sport. I hope to see where you can earn money and you can have an actual career. In 10 years I'll be almost 40, so it'd be great to be able to be a coach and make that an actual living. I'll cross my fingers for that. We actually thought that about 10 years ago now, when we first made X-Ball, we assumed that in 10 years people would be able to earn, full salaries where you could maybe one day retire on that. But I'm not crossing my fingers. I think you just play the game for what it is and you enjoy it. But expecting and hoping the game to be like a professional sport where you can make your, feed your family, that's a tough one. I don't know if that's gonna happen. It'd be nice, but.
And to finish my stupid question.
There's no stupid questions, right? Isn't that what this is?
All your life, and I say, Tim, you work for me, you have free solution. Referee, pit crew for a bad team, they scream every time on you, and your third choice, you are a runner snake with 50 kilo in your backpack. What you choose?
I get the choice of those?
Yeah. That's the job.
Well, I definitely won't referee because I said that paying to be a referee. So the question is, for $1,500, which of the three would I do? Mm-hmm. Is that what you're asking me?
No, 1,500. Every month, 1,500. It's your job. It's your job.
Come on, we gotta say more than that. Well, I definitely wouldn't referee because you'd have to pay me probably a lot more to referee because that's the hardest job in paintball. Those guys have we get upset at referees a lot. Just, if they don't call your favor, every sport does. But being a referee in paintball is hard. It's hot, you got your mask on all day, you're getting shot. So referee, no. Snake with 50 kilos on my back, what's that, like 70 pounds? Is that like 70 pounds?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks. So not that. And the pit crew?
Pit crew with a bad team.
Oh, with a bad team? With a bad team?
On you.
That's fine, that means we're drinking. Sunday we're drinking, so pit crew on the bad team, because Saturday beers.
Okay, Ryan says you.
Yeah.
Ryan means that. You have a scoop? Something? News nobody knows?
Oh, do I have any news that nobody knows? No. My life is
pretty from GI Sports, something?
I know a lot of things that I would like to tell you in the industry about new things, but I can't.
Okay.
You actually say, a lot of things, and I work at Lux, and I work at GOG, and I've worked at Smart Parts, and I'm, head of GI in this.
About Impact?
There's.
Will join you next year?
No. Impact's really happy. We're really happy with the people we have now. You can have 12 people in the United States on a team, so we only have 10. So if we find the right person, we're definitely gonna, we're always looking. To say we're not looking would be ridiculous. We're always looking for better players. 1-for-1 paintball. Big fan of 1-for-1 paintball. So make sure you check it out.
Thank you.